I have done 13 bodybuilding shows in 7 powerlifting meets. And one thing I wish there was more education out there on is actually what happens post-competition. Because I think a lot of first-time competitors are very blindsided. So think about this. You're prepping for months on end. Every single training block is planned. You know exactly what you're squatting, when you're squatting it, what RAR, what percentage, what weight. And you're doing this for many, many months. Like you're building momentum, your macros are dialed in, you're meal prepping, every single variable is controlled for. And then everything is like leading into this super fun, exciting, stressful, crazy event. The event happens, it's a huge dopamine hit, hopefully. And then the day after, you're like, now what? What happens next? What am I supposed to do with all my free time? And a lot of competitors will experience what we call post-show blues, where, it's after this big dopamine hit, you're left wondering like, what am I gonna prep for next? What's even the point of training? And you just feel like kind of downright depressed because you're not working towards an immediate goal. After doing all the shows and doing all the meets and prepping hundreds of athletes into competing at their first powerlifting meet or their first bodybuilding show, I wanted to share my biggest tips for actually dealing with this and going through this process. So step number 1 is going to be take a chill pill. We are not meant to go at 110% speed 24/7, 365 days a year. We're not robots. It's great to be super dialed in for a period of time leading into the meet or the show, but at some point you have to give your body and your mind a little bit of a break. So that might look like taking a week off of tracking macros, or 2 or several, or shifting to something where, you have several intuitive eating days a week and several track days a week. So you have a balance. You have friends, you have family, you have hobbies and life to experience. You don't need to be tracking every single gram of rice and protein that you're putting into your body every day of the week. Go out, go have a nice dinner with your loved ones, enjoy a steak, enjoy a hamburger, enjoy a fucking whole ass pizza. Like go take a break and enjoy some stuff. Take a small break from the gym. Obviously, after competing, you're going to need something like a deload because of the toll something like that takes on your body. Maxing out all 3 lifts if you're doing powerlifting, or for bodybuilding, dieting down for several months on end to get super lean. You're gonna be tired, you're gonna be exhausted. Take a full week off from the gym. And then when you get back into the gym, mix up your training. Do something fun. I'm sure there are movements that you didn't do during your prep that you missed doing. Like for me, after my meet in October, I took a break and I did a lot of athletic style training. So sprinting, jumping, running, things that I hadn't done in a really, really long time that gave me so much joy. I loved doing them, and I'm still doing them now. I have a good balance with my training. But doing something to mix up the monotony of squat, bench, and deadlift every single day, or if you're bodybuilding, like super strict, boring hypertrophy work, go do something else for a bit. One of the things I like to tell my athletes is to change up their split. So maybe if they were doing like 5 or 6 days a week of training, hopefully not, but do a little bit less. So do 3 or 4 days a week of training. That way you're getting a good break, you're deloading your body, you're getting to do some fun new styles of training, and you're also able to experience life. Like I know you have hobbies. Go build Legos, go snorkeling, touch grass, do something other than lifting. Like if you're watching this video, you're probably not a professional lifter. It's not something you get paid to do. Your life is not on the line. Like you have a life, you have friends, you have family, you have loved ones, you have cats. Like go do something with them. Take that break. Next thing is going to be being okay with not having an immediate goal. So a lot of times I'll see competitors compete and then the next day they will literally sign up for another competition. You can't make progress in that short of a time span. Do not do that. You are going to need a proper off season to rebuild your body, to come back even stronger and bring the improvements that you need to be seeing, whether it's on the platform, whether you need to rebuild your physique for the bodybuilding stage. That takes a lot of time. That's not like a 3-4 month turnaround time. That's like a 6 month, 1 year time frame. I understand the need to have a goal, and it does help with like locking in and dialing in and being on point. But again, there are different seasons of life that need to be treated differently. So some seasons of life you need to enjoy with loved ones. Some seasons of life you can be locked in 24/7 for something like a bodybuilding show prep, but you have to go back and forth between them. You can't be all in one thing all the time. It's not going to be a happy, fulfilled life that way. So give yourself time to have a proper off season, take time away from the stage, away from the platform, and give yourself a break. Next thing is gonna be give yourself grace. You have to understand that when you're prepping for a competition or a meet, like you are peaking for that meet. Keyword is peaking, meaning like you can only be at that tip-top shape for a certain small window of time. Like with powerlifting, there are many phases that build on top of one another to establish like a good solid peak to give your best performance on the platform and peak your singles. And then you do your peak, and then you have to give your body a break, and then it's probably back to volume. So you have to give yourself grace in that, you know, after you're done with your peak, like your lifts are not going to be as strong, and that's normal. You can't be at your peak all the time. That's just not the way it works. And the same thing with bodybuilding. Like you work weeks and weeks and months and years on end to achieve this beautiful, lean, super muscular physique, but you can't maintain that level of leanness year round, especially as a woman. It's not good for your health. You need to come into an off season, you need to have a little bit more body fat on your body. That's just how it goes. So when you're entering your off season, you have to give yourself grace. You have to understand what's expected of you in a maintenance phase. And that's all the tips that I can think of right now. Just know like what you're experiencing is normal. It's normal to have like that super high when you're competing, and usually followed by a super, hopefully not too low, but a low period after competing. So post-show blues, it's normal, it's part of the process, and hopefully these tips can help minimize how low your low is. But just know like you'll get back into it. Your time will come again. You'll be able to feel that feeling of competing again. It's just establishing a baseline again, getting back to normal, getting back to maintenance. And that can be a hard process. So give yourself grace. Again, hopefully these tips help, and I'll see you along in the next video.